Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in. Recently, we've been talking a lot about these culture vultures within our midst. We talk about Vlad all the time, and just recently his name came up in another murder of someone that was just on his podcast. Then we had just Pearly things last week or 2 weeks ago, and things she said to diminish the atrocities that happened in slavery. And there's a conversation about Adam22 in his podcast, and he just lost his black co-host recently. He decided to interview a lot of people that go against everything that he's been doing on the show. We know he started out with a bunch of different black guests, black rappers, athletes, and all these different people, and then he switched up and started talking to these white supremacists. And just Pearly Things was talking to Nick Fuentes when she made the statement about slavery. So we're seeing something happening here, a growing theme. But I want to take the time to share an article from RollingStone.com, because even now they're pointing out what's going on with No Jumper. This is how it starts. This is the title of the article. A popular hip-hop podcast has become a safe haven for white supremacy. This article was done on March 30th, 2023. No Jumper, a popular podcast whose roots are in hip-hop culture, has allegedly transitioned into a platform for white supremacy, anti-Semitism, and misogyny, according to a Media Matters for America investigation. The news site, which describes itself as a progressive research center that monitors, analyzes, and corrects right-wing misinformation, points to interviews that host Adam Grand Mason. Now check that last name out. I didn't know his name was Grand Mason. Grandmaison. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but if not, oh well. Man, that just sounds like Grand Wizard, Grand Mason. Wonder where that name came from. Anyway, aka Adam22 has conducted different interviews with Nick Fuentes, Richard Spencer, and members of the Nation of Islam. So a wide range of guests. Of course, I'm cool with the Nation of Islam part, but that goes in line with some of the rapper guests that he's had on there. But to say Nick Fuentes and Richard Spencer, that's a stark cry from where he started. So they say that, each of those guests expressed bigoted viewpoints that Grand Mason did not challenge. Did I just do my part to sort of make being racist seem chill to people? Grand Mason wondered aloud after interviewing Fuentes. Right, and this is the problem. So you come on here, you act like you're a part of the culture by constantly talking to people within the culture, and you seem, this the cool white dude, we cool. No, he Adam22, yeah, he's cool, he's down, whatever. And then you turn around and talk to somebody that wouldn't like your guest, that would despise them or possibly want something bad to happen to them. And then you don't have anything to say. You're not interviewing them and challenging their viewpoints. You're just kind of co-signing and going along with it, which is crazy, because I thought you were part of the culture. You're cool. You know what I'm saying? You're down with black people. But yet you would let these type of people sit on your platform and go unchallenged. So the podcast has a formidable reach: 4.2 million YouTube subscribers, 3 million Instagram followers, 2.1 million TikTok followers, and 1.2 million Twitter followers. That's a whole lot of people. And they're not all black people or anything like that. But this is what these people are doing. They come in, they're so cool with the black culture, they're down with black culture, they highlight it, they do all of that, and they get some of the black audience, and then they have their white audience and non-black people, and they build themselves up on our culture, hip-hop culture. And the people that are black, we can't build our own stuff like this and get pushed up to the top. We don't have anybody that has these kind of numbers that's doing a hip hop podcast. As far as I know, not 4.2 million on YouTube, 3 million Instagram, 2 million TikTok. That's a lot of people. and we allow them to build these on our backs, and then we barely get pennies in return, or you just get the opportunity to be on a podcast with 4.2 million people looking. But I digress. Let's go on. In its infancy, the podcast featured interviews with Rhapsody, ASAP Ferg, Crazy Bone, Gore, and even Tay Zonday. Media Matters reports that No Jumper started featuring problematic guests over the past year. One co-host, the news site claims, reportedly quit the show after the Spencer interview. "What the fuck are we doing?" the host, AD, aka Armand Douglas, said. "Why are we platforming this guy? We've got to hold everybody accountable, including Adam." So that's AD. We know he ended up leaving the show. He has his own YouTube page now. Looks to be doing pretty well. So if you can find him, sub up to him, because he took a stand, and he could have sat quiet and worried about trying to get a check on his own and not leaving. So often, some of our black people will sell out for the check and just keep doing what they're doing because they don't want to rock the boat or mess their check up. And so kudos to him for getting out of there. Let Adam do whatever he's going to do, but not using you. So neither Grand Mason nor the No Jumpers podcast have responded publicly to Media Matters report since it was published. Reps for No Jumpers and Grand Mason did not immediately respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. I bet they didn't. What are they going to say? He had the guests on there. We heard it. People heard it. They didn't hear any pushback. It is what it is. When Spencer, who organized the deadly 2017 white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, appeared on No Jumper earlier this month, Grand Mason whitewashed Spencer's past statements. Almost every quote that I'm seeing from you talking about your white identity or whatever is something that sounds eerily familiar to something I've heard black people say in a relatively mainstream circle in the last couple of years, Grand Mason said. A large percentage of them didn't really seem all that shocking to me. So there he goes. He wants to juxtapose Spencer's racist comments toward, oh, well, black people do it too. I've heard them. So this is what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're getting good and getting into the culture and listening to things and turning them and then using them to justify white supremacy talking points. Come on, man. What are we doing? Just like AD said, what are we doing? Anybody that's within the culture should pull back. They shouldn't be going on his show. They shouldn't be subscribed, watching him, or any of that. Let these people fail. Let them capitalize off their culture. But see, they'll build up a whole base and audience off of our culture and then do a pivot, and now he's giving these kind of people the platform. They didn't come on when they were trying to build the platform. They came when it was ready made and it's huge, and now they're the ones that have the microphone. This mess is crazy and it needs to stop. When Fuentes appeared on the show last October, he doled out offensive anti-Semitic tropes. On the same episode, Fuentes claimed black people are committing the majority of the violent crime. An FBI report cited by Media Matters debunks this, saying there was no statistically significant differences by race between offenders regarding arrests for violent crimes. Grand Mason called some of the guest theories interesting, though he also said he would edit out Holocaust minimalism. So he thought the theories were interesting. He didn't condemn them. He didn't challenge them to say, well, you could say that, but what about this part? What about that? No, he just, interesting. Oh, you don't say. The Media Matters report underscores Grand Mason's awareness using his own quotes. I'll be like normalizing him, Grand Mason said of Fuentes on the show, letting him come in and give him a clean version of his platform when the reality of what he's into might be a little bit darker. Yeah, it's a whole lot darker, but you let him give whitewash and give his medicine with the sugar on it so it tastes not so bitter as it normally is, and then he gains more support and more followers. You even will have black people out here saying that, Well, I mean, I heard his interview. He's not that bad. He really didn't say much of nothing that I didn't disagree with, or, you know what I'm saying? And then you don't know the type of horrendous things that he said that totally go against your whole race. But you heard it on Adam22, you heard it on No Jumper, and it wasn't that bad. He's not like a bad guy. He was actually a likable guy. You know what I'm saying? That's what that leads to. And we built the platform for him to do it on. That's why you're better off building up our own platforms. Go on, Say Cheese. I don't hear him over there getting into a bunch of stuff and doing the wrong thing. He has over 1 million people on YouTube. He has a lot of engagement on Twitter. Build up our own people. Willie D, he's not going to tell you anything wrong. He's got his own platform building up on YouTube and podcasts. So it's time out for just opening the door for anybody and jumping on their bandwagon. If they come with a check, hey, come help me build up my podcast. You're great. I'll give you 10%. Well, I take 90. Yeah, that's how that's going to be. That's going to be fair. We have to stop and just, hey, I'm going to stop and not get the money right now. I'm going to build up my own podcast. If you have the connections or you have the talent, build yourself up, build your own up. You don't have to go to other people and build them all the way up for them to then turn around, spit in your face, and allow who they really wanted to promote this whole time come up there. But they built the whole show off of your back. They built it off of black people, and now that the platform is there, it's large enough now for me to start spewing what I really wanted to spew. It's crazy to me, but let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button before you go, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.